Hey and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News show. Let's begin with our daily news. Harry Maguire's move to West Ham off as Man United centre-back denies agreement. Manchester United manager Erik is happy for Harry Maguire to fight for his place at the club after his move to West Ham fell through, reports Sky Sports journalist Dharmesh Sheth. The Red Devils agreed a £30 million deal with the Hammers for the England international centre-back. However, Maguire was not keen on leaving Man United unless he was handed a payoff capable of covering the reduced wages the Hammers offered him. The 30-year-old also insists that there was never an agreement in place for him to join West Ham, denying any talks with David Moyes. Maguire was reportedly demanding a £15 million payoff after Man United offered him just £6 million to leave, with the 2 years left on his £190,000 a week contract worth £19.7 million. West Ham offered him £120,000 per week, and he expected the Red Devils to adequately cover for the rest via a worthy payoff, and the move is off as both parties could not agree to a value. The Old Trafford club are unlikely to be able to proceed with a move for Bayern München Benjamin Pavard as a result of Maguire staying. The £30 million they would have received from selling the former Leicester City star would have come in handy in signing the Frenchman, but there are financial fair play constraints in the absence of the money. Maguire was an unused substitute during their Premier League opener against Wolverhampton Wanderers, with Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez starting the game at Old Trafford. Victor Lindelof replaced the Argentine at half-time. The England international fancies his chances of forcing his way back into the starting 11, and both club and player will benefit if he rediscovers the form that once made him the most expansive defender on the planet. Nottingham Forest continue to pursue Dean Henderson. Nottingham Forest are continuing to pursue Dean Henderson's services despite the recent signing of Matt Turner from Arsenal. Henderson has been Forest's primary target for the number one slot this summer, with the goalkeeper's long-standing injury and Manchester United's goalkeeping revolving door hindering the move. Forest reportedly agreed terms with Henderson early on in the summer following his season-long loan at the club. The coaching staff at the City Ground were said to be impressed with Henderson's attitude and leadership, as well as his commitment to Forest, even after his long-term injury ruled him out of their season. He continued to be a regular attendee at the training ground and stadium despite his thigh injury, fully embracing his adopted side as his own, with United keen to buttress their summer spending by selling unwanted players. Henderson's departure from Old Trafford had seemed a formality. The sudden change in heart over David De Gea's future left a number one-sized hole in the squad, however, which inhibited this move. Erik was reportedly unwilling to let Henderson leave United at the same time as De Gea, without first securing his first-choice target Andre Onana in his place. Following confirmation of the Cameroonian as the new number one, negotiations resumed between United and Forest. The Nottinghamshire club were thought at that point to be pushing for a loan move with an obligation to buy, a style of deal Old Trafford officials were seemingly unwilling to commit to. Forest would quickly change tact and successfully close a deal for Turner for around £10 million, suggesting a move for Henderson was no longer a priority. An injury to Tom Hitton, United's number two for the season, further compounded this view, with Ten Hag including Henderson on the bench against Wolves. This was Henderson's first appearance in the matchday squad in over 18 months. The Dutchman described how the English goalkeeper was always in his mind as an option this season, a move to Forest now seemingly completely off the table. A further twist in the tale of this protracted transfer saga came last night, however, with Alan Tate, Forest assistant manager, reportedly making contact with John Murtough, United's footballing director, about Henderson. Samuel Luxhurst reports the goalkeeper still wants to leave Old Trafford this summer, and the reopening of dialogue between officials at both clubs suggests Forest are similarly minded. Mason Mount's brother hits out at Talksport after Man United midfielder was criticized in a Twitter post. Mason Mount's brother Lewis has hit out at Talksport for putting out a social media post that criticized the England international midfielder following his Premier League debut for Manchester United on Monday. The 24-year-old joined the Red Devils from Chelsea in a £55 million deal earlier in the summer and was thrown into action against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Old Trafford. Mount was not poor as the whole team generally struggled against the Midlands club, but he created zero chances, made zero crosses, won zero tackles, and won zero aerial duels during the game. And Talksport took to Twitter X to post his stats. Mount's brother was far from pleased with the radio station, and he has since taken to Instagram to hit out at them. He said, I have tried to let this go all day, but honestly, shame on you, Talksport. These players know these people get enough abuse without you adding fuel to the fire. A reminder that he has had a very successful 18-year career in football and is a good, kind human being, more than I can say for some of you reporters. There was plenty of attention on players making their debuts for new clubs during match day one, and Mount was unfortunate to become the scapegoat. He was far from being the worst player on the pitch, as Wolves gave Man United problems and should have at least claimed a draw for their efforts. However, the Red Devils held on to a much needed victory, with Rafael Varane's 76th minute header making all the difference. They will look to put in a better performance when they take on Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Mount is a solid addition to their midfield, and while he did not put in a 5-star performance against Wolves, manager Erik Ten Hag is expected to include him in the starting 11 for the Spurs trip. Dharmesh Sheth makes potential Erik Bailly U-turn claim. Erik Bailly could now stay at Manchester United this summer after all. According to Sky Sports reporter Dharmesh Sheth, the 29-year-old is now unlikely to join Saudi Pro League club Al Nassr in the summer transfer window. He has also decided not to pursue a move to Besiktas after receiving an offer from the Turkish giants. United signed the Ivory Coast international from Villarreal way back in the summer of 2016 for around £30 million. However, Bailly has failed to live up to the hype that accompanied his move to Old Trafford. Rumours has been rife that the centre-back's time with Man United could be coming to an end. However, it seems like he could yet stay in Manchester beyond the end of the summer transfer window. The Sky Sports reporter has just taken to Twitter to provide an update on the future of the Ivorian, and Sheth has suggested that as things stand, the 29-year-old remains very much a Manchester United player. So who knows? Perhaps Erik Bailly will remain at Old Trafford for at least one more season. He is out of contract with United next summer, although the club do have the option to extend that deal by a further 12 months. Calcio Mercato claimed that Manchester United could be prepared to sell Erik Bailly for just £7 million. As things stand, though, it seems like there is every chance that the defender could stay at the club. That said, it wouldn't be a shock at all if he does leave Old Trafford for pastures new over the next couple of weeks or so. Everton have informed Man United that Amadou Onana will cost over £60 million. United have been heavily linked with a move for Fiorentina's midfield general Sofiane Amrabat, with recent reports suggesting that a move could be happening very soon. Another player whose name has been gaining traction recently is Everton's Amadou Onana. The People's Person had reported that United had made their first approach for the Belgian. According to the Liverpool Echo, United will need to break the bank if they are to secure the 21-year-old this summer, with Everton valuing their player higher than Southampton's asking price for Romeo Lavia. The report also claims United are yet to open discussions with the Toffees, who feel Onana can even surpass the levels of Moses Caicedo, who recently broke the British record transfer when he joined Chelsea for a reported £115 million. The Echo understands that, contrary to some reports, Everton have not had an inquiry over the past few days from Manchester United about the player who turns 22, but the Old Trafford outfit maintain a long-standing interest in him. Everton are under no pressure to sell players, as manager Sean Dyche stated last week, and Goodison Park Chiefs value Onana higher than compatriot Romeo Lavia, who is set to move from Southampton to Chelsea for £60 million. Everton believe there is still plenty of development in the prospect they snapped up from Lille for £33.5 million last summer, and believe that over time he can become as good as or even better than Moses Caicedo. That's what the report reads. Onana joined the Merseyside outfit last summer, and despite an overall disappointing season from the club, the Belgian international was one of the standout performers. Despite interest in his services, his asking price means a move is unlikely this summer, with Mrabat a far cheaper option. Manchester United transfer deal now more complicated after a fresh development, says expert. Manchester United transfer move for Bayern München defender Benjamin Pavard may now be more complicated as Harry Maguire's move to West Ham has fallen through. This is according to Fabrizio Romano in the latest edition of his exclusive Count Offside column, with the reporter explaining that Maguire failed to agree terms on a move to West Ham. Romano has now made it clear that if Maguire doesn't leave, there probably won't be enough money for Man United to make a signing in the funds, even though Pavard is seemingly keen on leaving Bayern for a move to Old Trafford. The France international is a versatile, experienced player and would surely be a major upgrade on Maguire, whose time at United has mostly been a big disappointment. Romano said, "It's going to be an important week for Manchester United, and at the moment, the Harry Maguire deal with West Ham is off. Let's see if the story can change or if other clubs can jump on this deal, but at the moment, with West Ham, it's collapsed. There has been no agreement between Man United and Maguire on the payoff, and no agreement between Maguire and West Ham on the salary. So now, after days and days of waiting, there is a chance Maguire will stay at Old Trafford as an important rotation player. Let's see now how this affects Benjamin Pavard. He told Bayern he won't sign a new contract and he wants to join United, but it was linked to Maguire's future as well. If Maguire stays, it's difficult to see Man United going and spending big money on a new centre back. That's the feeling at the club today, also because Erik Ten Hag really appreciates Victor Lindelof. Romano added that it remains to be seen who West Ham could go for as an alternative to Maguire, with the East Londoners already missing out on one target as Demiral is heading to Saudi Arabia. One more thing needs to happen before Man United can progress on midfielder transfer, says expert. Manchester United may need to make one more midfielder sale before they can progress on a transfer move for Fiorentina star Sofiane Amrabat. The Red Devils recently sold Fred Fenerbahce, but further exits for either Donny van de Beek or Scott McTominay could also be required, according to Fabrizio Romano in his exclusive column for Count Offside. Amrabat has been linked strongly with Man United this summer after impressing in Serie A and most notably for the Moroccan national team at last year's World Cup. It seems clear Amrabat could be a superb signing to give United manager Erik Ten Hag an upgrade on the likes of Fred, McTominay or even Van de Beek, but it could still be a bit more of a wait before a deal can be completed. Romano suggested Van de Beek could be the main one to watch, though he also mentioned that it might be worth seeing if West Ham come back in for McTominay, so fans will no doubt hope a solution will be found for these players soon. Romano said, "It's gone a bit quiet on Sofiane Amrabat, but it simply remains the case that United have to sell two midfielders before signing Amrabat. Fred is gone. The other one could be Donny van de Beek, but there is still no agreement with Real Sociedad. Another option could be Scott McTominay in case West Ham return or another club joins the race. Still, for now, Fiorentina have not received any official bid for Mrabit yet. I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.